Not hearing you, Matt. We need to unmute you, sir.
Good. Test mic tech. Good. Gotcha. All right, let's take it from the top. What's cracking, everybody? My smart guy, Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas, out of the PHP Agency Studios here. It's based out of Addison, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas, Texas. And on the air today is yours truly, money smart guy, Matt Sapaula, Senior Board Counsel, PHP Agency, and also fellow first-generation cash flow millionaire from Houston, Texas, my man, Rodolfo Vargas, with a new tan from the French Riviera. What's going on, Rodolfo?
What's going on, Matt? Yeah, you have a little bit of tan as well, because last week, we were in Paris, we were in Monaco, and we had a blast. I know you were in a yacht in the middle of, Saint-Tropez and Cannes and Monaco. We had a blast last week, so we can wait to share. So we have some stories, right, for today.
Of course, we're going to have some stories. So we're going to have some stories from our Paris-Monaco trip, all expenses, company-paid trip. We waited another year for this trip because of COVID. We couldn't go for a minute, but we have some agent success stories here for you. We also want you to know, for those of you watching this live, in our live chat, we have an audience Q&A participation. You got questions and we answer it. We're giving away three $50 Starbucks cards to any question that we answer for you today. So make sure you stay active in the live chat. Also, we got 4th of July coming up. We're going to talk about the importance of this day, the day of independence, the day our country was born and came alive. And also, some of the topics we've been dealing with was inflation, dealing with this pending recession, dealing with some of the issues we've been dealing with in the news. We're going to talk about that and how it relates to personal finance and why you need to be making more money in this episode of the PHP Podcast. Oh, by the way, we got a special guest from California. So we're going to start here in the PHP Agency Podcast, episode 50, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, we are back. So Rodolfo, let's get right into it. So who is our guest today from California?
From California, we have in the company, there is new superstars coming up into the company, right? And which is, we invite, if you get invited to a podcast, it's because you're a superstar coming up right now in the company. So we have working with George Pelayo, Unity team over there in California. And we want to hear his story because I believe his military background, he like a business, he's been showing some big numbers right now in the company. So we want to know what's going on. Who are the new people coming into the company? So we have the one and only Luis Perez on the line. Luis, can you hear us?
Yes, can you guys hear me? Matt, thank you.
What's up, War Dog? Glad to have you on, man. But briefly, tell us your story.
Yeah, me and my wife, I'm in business with my wife, Jasmine Perez. We got married last November, and we're actually expecting our first child here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Boy, girl?
Boy.
Nice. Got a name picked out?
Yeah, he's gonna be a junior. I need to continue our legacy.
Greatness lives on.
Yes, sir. And thank you both for being such examples of good fathers, watching your guys grow. We met Vargas for the first time in the business, I think when Ceci was pregnant with their first. And so seeing you guys grow and how you guys raise your children, it's an example for us. So, that's one of the beauties of the business. But, we got started here in PHP a little over 3 years ago. And we've been in the business. When I got started at first, I wasn't that person that, like, when someone invited me, I came right away. I was actually invited like 5 times.
Wow.
And I almost recruited myself to the business. The way he got me was he's like, hey, he does the help me script of like, can you help me? I'm trying to get certified. And so he comes over to my house and he brings a flip chart. And, he crashed and burned on helping me on doing the presentation. So I just ended up going through his flip chart and I saw the compensation plan. And I was like, if you can show me someone who makes that kind of money, I'll talk to them. Because at that time I was already a business owner. And so he introduces me to my upline, David Bryan, who that month had just made like $20,000. And so since then we start running in the business. And first thing David tells me is, hey, go watch this video by Rodolfo Vargas, the hustle presentation. Watch it 10 times, write it out. We do that. Me and my wife, we wanted to be very coachable, and we did that. We spent a whole day. She didn't like me that day because I was like drilling her on like, do it again, do it again, do it again. And from that, we've been able to run in the business. The reason I got started was, just like many people, I went through life losing a lot of people. Right. I experienced a lot of loss in my family. We had a very, very big family. My great grandparents had like 9 and 12 siblings. And so I have a lot of aunts, uncles, cousins, like an immediate family gathering was like 20, 30 people. And I saw my mom work hard, working 70, 80 hours a week as a single mom. And I just wanted to be able to retire. So when I saw the income, I was like, man, I want to be able to retire my mom. I get started. And, we hit some small promotions very quickly, FA within 10 days. And then it takes us about a year to hit marketing director, or a little over a year. And we become marketing directors in our first year. We promoted 4 MDs direct. And the beauty of this business is that in California, you can get a license with an I-10.
Wow.
And 3 of our 4 MDs have I-10s. 2 of them don't even speak English. And that's the beauty of the opportunity that PHP gives, is people giving them the opportunity to come into the business, become business owners, become equity owners. And so we're so grateful for the company and allowing us to do that. And we're very excited.
What a great opportunity, huh? What a great opportunity to have the chance. And how fast you've been growing, because you became a marketing director and promoted for marketing directors. It took me about 5 years to become a marketing director. It took me another 2 years to promote the first one. And you, in the first 3 years, not only became an MD, but you promoted 4 marketing directors. Question for you. You say you were a business owner, right? Can you tell us what type of business were you doing in the past?
Yeah, so I was doing property inspections. And if you don't know what property inspections, it's okay. When I found the business, I didn't know what it was either. Basically, when people go and you want to buy a house, right, you want someone to come check out the house before you purchase it, before it becomes the biggest purchase of your life.
Yeah.
So that was our job. We would go in, we would do.
What'd you charge? What'd you charge?
We were actually one of the higher end companies. We were around $600 to $700
for a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Yeah.
What about a house like Rodolfo, like a multi-million-dollar house?
Oh, he's over $2,000 easy, because we did
sewer.
Yeah, we would do sewer inspections. We did it all, mold inspections, and you're getting under the house, getting on top of the house, in the attic. It wasn't a pretty job.
Is there and that was, you were working for a company, right? Or that was your own business?
I started in the company, and then I became a co-owner in the company after being there for almost 8 years.
So what was it about the comp plan that intrigued you? And by the way, this goes back to the old thing. For those of you watching this out there that are maybe new in the business and you may not have everything right, your script might not be right. You're not so talented as a Rodolfo Vargas is, or a Ceci Vargas, or a Jose Marlene Gaitan, or a Ricky and Erica. But there's a saying that you can't tell the wrong thing to the right person. So even though the Help Me Script presentation was not, I's dotted and T's crossed, what was it about the compensation that got you?
You see the part-time income that you could make. And, it shows you, as a part-time, you can make $28,000 a year. As a small agency builder, you can make, $30,000 a year. And I'm like, or $30,000 a month, sorry, $30,000 a month. And I'm like, there's not a lot of opportunities out there in the world that give you that chance. And I'm like, is this real? And then you see at that point, chairman council, you're making close to $2 million a year. And I'm like, where else can you go somewhere and they're going to be like, yeah, in X amount of time, in 4 years, you can be a chairman's council making $1 million. And I'm like, I'm gonna work 4 years somewhere else. Might as well find somewhere where I can go make over $1 million. And so that really caught my interest. Being a business owner, I was like, your return on your time is very valuable. Yep. So why not find somewhere where you're going to get paid for your worth, right? When I met George Pelayo, one of the things he said is, At that time, I'm a little confident making six figures. And he was like, I make six figures a month. And I was like, oh, and so that's when I'm like, there's a difference. He's like, what you make in a year, it's going to take you 12 years to make what I make in one. And he's like, you're never going to get your time back. And that's more valuable now as we're about to be a parent. Like, man, I want to be able to get that time back with my child. I see the life that you guys are living, and I'm like, man, that's what I want from my child. So the comp plan, it's honestly unlike anything else in any other company. And trust me, growing up, I've done it all. I've sold it all. I've, sold every potion, lotion, everything that's under the sun, and nothing has this type of comp plan.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because you're talking about property inspections for residential properties, right?
Yes.
And you come into the business really in the height of the real estate boom. So even things are good, you're comfortable. Was there something about your situation that made you uncomfortable, or is it just purely the opportunity? Because usually people come to something one or two reasons: is for the gain of pleasure, the gain of opportunity, or it's for the absence and avoidance of pain. So if you were to categorize yourself, was it because you wanted the opportunity, or were you still feeling some form of financial pain even though you're making six figures?
For me, it was the opportunity and fulfilling a purpose. Like I'm mission driven. Coming from the military, you're very mission driven.
Yep.
At the time that I came into PHP, I just ETS'd. I just got out. So I was looking for another opportunity because I wanted something that was going to be my next. As much as inspections was fun, it wasn't fulfilling me as a person.
Yep.
And so I tried different things. I became a personal trainer. I tried all these different things. And then I get a call and they're like, hey, we'll offer you a $30,000 bonus to come back. Right. And then you'll deploy by the end of the year.
There's the Army.
Yes. And so I'm like, well, and $30,000, it's great for anybody. And I have my wife at the time, my mom, I'm telling him, look, I'm going to go back. And they're telling me not to. And I make a deal with them. And I'm like, look, by the end of the year, I'm going to get in shape. If I don't find something, I'm going to take the offer. So they gave me till the end of the year, till December 31st. I get started in PHP December 26th.
What?
Wow.
So I find my purpose here in the company of being able to go out, educate families, educate people, make a difference in the community. And so that's been my mission.
Love it. Tell us about your family. So your wife, what was she doing before?
She was a teacher and working in nonprofits.
So she never run businesses before? She never ran a business. I remember I went to my first fast start school. She was sick, so she didn't get to go. And I come home and I'm fired up. And I come home, she had just moved in with me. She just relocated her job. She was from Bell Garden. She moved to San Fernando Valley. She just moved in with me. And I come home and she's like in bed, sick. And I'm like, babe, I found something that's going to change our lives. It's going to retire our parents. Are you with me or you're not? Husband, that's not the recommendation script that I recommend you to go to your wife to. She was on board, and she was never did business. She was never a salesperson. She never, wanted to go out and sell anything. She would come to BOMs and she would stand in the back of the room, right? And I remember Elvis Okafor goes up to her one day and is like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm here because he's here." And now, she's one of the leading agents in all of Unity and helping educate the Latino community. Because she saw that crusade of like, man, we were never taught this stuff in school. We were never taught this stuff at home, right? Yeah. In Latino culture, you don't typically talk about money to strangers. You don't talk about your personal finances. And that's why we see that we end up in this, cycle of poverty that we need to go out and change it.
Yes, we do.
How do you grow up? Well, I'm sorry, Matt, I know you go next, but tell us about now, how do you grow up? Tell us about you growing up. Were you coming from a family of entrepreneurs? Do you come from a wealthy family, a poor family, immigrant family? How do you come from?
My mom was a single mom. I saw her, she raised me and my brother. She worked for a dry cleaners for over 25 years. And I would see her wake us up at 4 a.m. We would go to the car. She would go open up the store and she would drive to these different cleaners to be able to go and pick up their dirty clothes. And I remember as a kid, 4 a.m, like I'm excited. I'm sitting in the back of a van and I'm on all these like bags and I'm bouncing around. Like it's exciting. Later in life, I realized, man, I was enjoying sitting on top of people's dirty laundry. Like, but that was the experience. I saw her work 70, 80 hours as a manager, and multiple jobs. We moved almost every year. And, you know, anytime they might have raised the rent or whatever it was, she had to move us to keep us going. Most of my life, I saw her raise us in a single bedroom where her bedroom was the front room. You know, I don't think it was to high school where I remember her getting her own room. And so I just grew up like, man, I want to retire my mom. I was grateful that, you know, as father figures, I had an army of support from, you know, Ninos, and I was raised by my great grandfather, my grandfather. So I got their values and principles. My pops would always tell me, you know, be the father your father never was, and the husband you would want your mother to marry. So that became, you know, my principle in life. Like, I want to be the best example. And it's more so now that I have my son on the way.
Yeah. So I want to do some rapid fire with you. I want to do some rapid fire with you, bro. And we're going to transition to other topics, but we're going to express a little bit more of your story through these topics we're going to bring up. So I got 8 questions. First thing that comes to your mind. All right, ready?
Sounds good.
Okay. Dream destination.
Machu Picchu.
Cool. Dream car.
Oh, the Tesla Model X right now.
Oh, he's a Tesla guy. Guy Tom would love to talk to you more about that. Favorite movie?
Remember the Titans.
Wow.
Good one. Good one. Love that movie, man. My favorite scene in that movie, man, was when they came over Gettysburg. They unified a team together. The jog in the morning. Favorite book?
Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, that's good. Napoleon Hill. Yes. My favorite part about that book is avoid the drifters.
Yes.
People that bounce on, those are drifters. Can never make a decision, stick with it. Avoid the drifters. Favorite color? Don't tell us blue.
Yeah.
He's a WTP guy. Superhero. Favorite superhero?
Superman.
Of course. Favorite sport?
Football.
Like football or football?
Football. I was a lineman for 4 years. So
nice. Were you a Rams guy or a Chargers guy?
I'm a Raiders fan.
Okay.
Raider.
Born and raised a Raider fan.
Okay. He's OG. And then right now, what's your biggest goal? What's the biggest goal in front of you?
Opening up schools. Me and my wife, our crusade has been to open up schools.
Perfect. Okay. This is a perfect segue. Rodolfo, we were talking about this during Dream Team, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest thing? Is you know, we're talking about, you know, the environment we're in today. It's been so political the last 6 years. You know, it's so political, and we're talking about targeting. Can you hear me now? About targeting. Yeah. Who's being targeted? Like Rodolfo, you know, Patrick was making a point. He says, "Are Rodolfo and Ceci being targeted?"
No.
Is Luis Perez being targeted? Is Matt and Sheena being targeted? No. What is being targeted is our kids. They're after our kids. And so I said, Patrick, well, who's targeting our kids? Is it, well, listen, it's the left, because the right has no media. It's got the access to mass information, mass entertainment is to the left. The right doesn't have any. And to his point, I'm thinking about this. Chris Hart just went to a movie with his kids to watch Buzz Lightyear, the new one that just came out. And of course, who doesn't love Toy Story, right? And Buzz Lightyear came out of it. And then in the middle of watching the movie with his kids, there's a same-sex scene in the middle of Buzz Lightyear, an animated cartoon. And like, we can't even watch freaking cartoons with our kids without this stuff coming up. And so a lot of parents are angry. So Luis, are you comfortable and do you feel safe with the public school system out there in LA?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
And do you think a lot of parents feel safe with the public school system?
No. And it's crazy. You know, George gave me this book when I told him what my goal was. And this book's been actually banned. And it says how to open up your own school a guide for the radical right, left, and everybody in between who's fed up with public education.
So it's both for the right and the left.
Yeah. The book's been banned in multiple states. The book was written in the 70s, early 70s. And a lot of the issues it talks about on why these parents got together to open up a school is because of the same issues that are happening today. And for me, you know, I when I went to school, my teachers were my mom's teachers.
Yeah.
And my fourth grade teacher was great friends with my great grandmother. So we got a lot of their principles from, you know, from the 50s and 60s.
Yep.
Today you go to school, there's teachers younger than me.
Yeah.
So what values and principles are being taught from people that really don't, you know, haven't experienced life yet to have those to be able to teach? So, you know, you see a lot of what's going on in schools with, you know, bathrooms and, you know, who can go and basically anyone and
who can compete, which everything. Rodolfo, what makes you concerned about even Texas, the public school system?
Yeah, I mean, here's my opinion. Okay, here's the way that I process it. The issue is the schooling. That's part of the issue, but also the issue who's raising the kids. Who raises our kids?
Yep.
I remember going to school when I was in El Salvador, and the thing was like this. The teacher was to be with the kids for a certain amount of time, right? But also the parents were involved in the education. The parents were involved in my education. The ultimate is not the teacher or the school, the responsible raising the kids, in my opinion, though. We have responsibility as parents to raise our kids. Now, the issue with the school system becomes where they have more control than the parents. When the parents, they don't have a voice anymore. That is the issue for me. Like, I get it. By the way, all this thing about that you just mentioned about the movies and everything has been, this is not new. You know, this stuff that we see in the TV and everything, we had it since we were kids. Guys, you can watch TV since you were a kid. You can see some random things on the TV, don't you? We could watch it.
I don't think as regular as we're seeing it now.
I'm gonna tell you the way that I grew up. I had cable in my home and I could watch anything. And I remember seeing some weird stuff when I was a kid. But here's the kicker: my parents were involved. My mom was there. My dad was there. Hey, what are you watching? Hey, why are you watching that? Oh, you know what? Brother, we used to have these. I remember watching on Sundays. We used to watch this. Even for kids, you used to watch this crazy stuff. My dad used to tell me, "What do you get from that? What do you think? What's your opinion on that?" And I was like, "Okay, here's my opinion." And I remember one day we're watching this movie with my dad, right? And it was my dad, my mom. We're watching this movie. I'm like maybe 8 years old, 9 years old. And this is weird for me. And boom, it comes this scene, right? Sexy scene, okay? In the middle of the movie. Like you're watching any movie. Like if you watch any movie, there is so many scenes that are sex. And I'm young. I'm maybe 10, right? And my dad didn't change it. Okay? My dad didn't change it. It was not, no, don't watch it. He let me watch it. It was not like anything like you're showing anything, right? It was just.
Was it cartoon or regular show?
No, regular movie, okay? And this is regular, I'm in El Salvador. And after the movie, after the scene, my dad doesn't make he says, what do you get from that? What do you learn from that? And I'm like.
I'd say something, but we're live right now.
Yes, and I express my opinion, meaning that part, we have forgot about it. That's my personal opinion. Like for example, my son Milo, he goes to school, right? He goes to private school, private kinder, right? We take him. But you know what we did today before taking him to school? We went to church. Today we took Milo. Milo says, I want to go to church. He wants to go to church. And we're in church and we're explaining to him, hey, here is what's going on, here is this, here is that. So the parents are involved in the education of the kids. So sometimes, yeah, guys, the enemy is always going to be there. We don't have to act like the enemy always been there. Pornography has always been there. I mean, everything has been there. This is not new, guys. We've been how long sex within the same people has been around? Has been around forever, since the Bible. And the Bible talks about it. But we don't have to take power away from the parents. And there are some school systems, some schools that are taking away the power from the parents, where the parents don't have a voice, where the teacher has more voice than the parents. How come a teacher is going to have more power than is my kid?
In the school board. In the school board. Yeah.
I have more power on my kid. There is no way. That is when these things become complicated. When they have more power than we as parents. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, we're in a podcast and I can talk, right? But that's my personal opinion. Don't destroy the family. Don't destroy that message from the family, because the enemy always going to be there. We're always going to have those TV shows. We're always going to have it. We're not going to be able to control it. We need to be able to control it as parents. So, Matt, what's your opinion on that?
I'm thinking about, by the way, great feedback on that, Rodolfo. I'm thinking about my favorite cartoons growing up, and enjoyed with my kids growing up. I'm thinking about Aladdin. I'm thinking about Lion King. I'm thinking about Beauty and the Beast. I'm thinking about, these Disney shows. It's just been lately. It's just been, look at what happened to Disney Plus. A lot of parents unsubscribed to in the last year and a half because of the political agenda that's being shared with this issue in cartoons.
Can I give you a feedback? Can I give you something?
Yeah.
So let me put it. I was a kid, and I didn't like Lion King. I didn't like Aladdin. You know what I like? I like The Simpsons. Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I like them. I
South
like
Park.
Bart Simpson.
South Park. Yeah. Yeah.
South Park. For me, it was The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And I remember I wanted to watch The Simpsons. And my dad used to, and I used to watch him. And I used to see Bart doing some crazy stuff, right? But you know what my dad used to tell me? It's the same thing. What do you think about that? Do you think that what he's doing is right? What do you think about that?
Yeah. Morality check.
Correct. But he was there. I think that's the part but we forgot about. But go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, yeah, you're correct. Let's continue. Let's continue down that path, because this is part of what Luis's dream is to build a school. In the meantime, if we don't agree with the school board, if we don't agree with our teachers, we don't have to be in a financial position to allow that to happen. We can say, you know what? Let me consider a business or career where I can increase my income. I bring to the community, to serve the community in a different way, not just a one-man band or a small business, but to scale my business. So therefore I can scale my income. So therefore I can put my kids now in a private school of my choosing. And it's interesting because when he came out here to Texas, I was interviewing the teachers. And I was asking them about so many, I had 5 key issues. I was on 4 different schools, and they all checked out. The only reason why we picked the one we picked is because it's close to the office. But when we're looking at the private schools today, if you don't have the financial resource because you're stuck with public school, that's a big reason why we're attracting people to our industry today. So they can make more money. We're attracting people here this morning. We had coffee with our team this morning. We had a guy on there. It happened to be my cousin. After 5 years, my cousin's husband decides to come on board. He's been a client for 5 years. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much cash is built up in my policy." I said, more people need to know about this stuff. And he started putting money in his policy as soon as he got out of nursing school, and he became a traveling nurse. And he's like, "Dude, I'm burnt out as a nurse. I'm burnt out as a nurse. There's a cap on my income." He was on the Zoom this morning with his 2 kids, his 2 babies, and said, "I want a better future for them." And so going back to Luis, is that a motivation for you? If you have a big goal of building a school, is that a big motivation for you? Say, listen, having a school is not a cheap endeavor. It's a multi-deca-million-dollar project to have your own school, and that's just one school, let alone being accredited and supplies and books and curriculum, et cetera. It's a teacher. You got to recruit teachers now. You got to recruit a principal. You got to recruit a superintendent and dean. So many things go into the school. So, and also for the most part, well, let me just not digress, but what is that what you're thinking about in terms of you creating your own school, Luis?
Yeah, I want a school, right now, when you look at the public education system and what you guys were talking about, it's so much bigger, and like even what's being taught as far as the educational platform. Like, I want a school that's going to teach leadership, right? We're not creating more leaders in the world. That's why a lot of these issues are happening.
Yep.
I want a school that's going to teach financial education. I remember I got to high school, got my first job. I calculated how much I was going to have on my check, and then I get my check and half of it's gone. No one taught me that, I have to pay Social Security, income tax, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, where did that go? And we're not teaching that. So we're not teaching people how to be properly prepared, but we want them to be able to go out, get school loans, and understand how all that works. And it creates a cycle, right? In this book, it talks about how it reminds me a lot of PHP, right? It was 4 teachers, 28 students, create one school that's an independent school from state. So they don't take any funding from the state. And they create a school based around competition. There's no, like Rodolfo was saying, the parents have to be involved. They tell the parents, if you're going to go home and you're going to watch TV, but expect your kid to do homework, that platform isn't going to work. Right. And that school is still standing today. It went from 28 students. Now they have an average class size of 900, having preschool to 12th grade. That's what PHP is doing. So I want to take a lot of the principles that we're learning here in PHP, implement it into a school so that we can start creating a system that goes in and creates leaders, right? PHP talks about we're going to have the next mayors, president coming out. I want a school system that's going to push my child to want to do that. That's going to push them to become competitive and want to make an impact in the community, change the world, think bigger, right? Understand how to manage their money so they come out and they don't have to think the only way for me to go succeed is go to college and get in debt. So I have to go and become a decamillionaire.
That's right. You got to. If you want to fund that dream, if you want to make the dream a reality, it's got to be in that key area. When I'm looking at I'm just looking here at Dallas Independent School District. They don't depend on state government funds. They depend on property taxes. So, that's where, and, I'm looking here in Frisco, where the Frisco Independent School District partnered with Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. And so Jerry Jones built this, $1 billion, they call it the Star here in Frisco, Texas, where the Dallas Cowboys practice. It's $1 billion, it cost them $1 billion. It's a beautiful facility, but they got businesses around it. They got apartment buildings, townhouses around it. And inside the practice facility, which is covered, the Frisco Independent School District has their graduations, their games, all this stuff, even with the Dallas Cowboys branding. Brilliant. So he created a partnership with the Frisco Independent School District, which doesn't depend on state funds. So the state funds can provide better hospitals, better roads, better law enforcement, better other programs that they can rechannel that money to. So I'm curious, out there in California, outside of the school system, what else is going bad out there from your boots on the ground perspective, Mr. Cav Scout?
When I look at California, and we may not be here long anyway. So you look at what's going on, homelessness on the rise everywhere, right? They talk about how the homeless community is large enough to have its own zip code out here. So it's you see it everywhere. And gas prices, $7 in some places going up. They're talking about, we're going to give you like $350 a month to help for gas, to offset the price of gas. I have a truck. It doesn't really help. All right. And so you see a lot. You do Uber. It's harder to get Uber now because people can't go around in Uber when they have gas prices. They're not making the money. I talk to business owners. A lot of business owners have multiple incomes, having to get other jobs just to support their business owner, their business. So it's becoming very difficult to live out here. To stay afloat.
What's motivating you? What's motivating you to look elsewhere? To look elsewhere.
My family. I got people to take care of. Taxes are going up. Cost of living is going up. That's more money that takes away from my family. that's more money that's going to be taken away from my son, right? That I can put elsewhere in helping pick a better school. So right now you have a 1-bedroom house apartment going for almost $2,000-$3,000. I want to be able to own a house one day. In California, I don't see that happening.
And that's another issue. Not only are hedge funds and investment firms buying neighborhoods, but also the government is buying neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And so they're becoming the landlords. So the government's becoming our competition.
In California, you see a lot of communities of tiny homes being built to help with the homeless population versus building new homes for people to be able to live in.
Rodolfo, you're a former Californian.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts that you have about California?
Yeah, of course. I mean, here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. Eventually, by the way, you could Google it right now. How many people have left California? I'm not the only one. People have left New York. People have left California. So you need to analyze it. Why is people leaving? What is that they don't like? What is it that the people are gonna go places that they want to go? Like, I'm an immigrant. Why? I love my country. I love El Salvador. When people ask, how's El Salvador? I love it. I cannot wait to be back. I cannot wait to go and eat their food. I cannot wait to go to the water. I cannot wait to go with my friends. I cannot wait to do that. But why did we leave? Because over there, for my case, my personal case was the place became too dangerous. The crime, it was insane. You couldn't drive by yourself. That's what happened. Like, a woman, again, it's unheard of. You're never gonna see a woman driving by herself after 8 p.m.
Why? She get carjacked?
Of course. You don't see that. You know what the reality is? When you come into the US, you see women driving. You over there, you don't see that. Again, it's impossible. You will never gonna see. Try, if you go to El Salvador, try to see a woman driving by herself after 8 p.m. That's suicide. You never do that. My wife, I will never allow my wife to drive after 8 p.m. So it's not me, but you worry about the people that you love the most, your kids, your wife. It says, let's go. So we decided to leave because of the crime. It was crime for me. It was nothing else. It was not even economics. Believe it or not, it was not economics. I'm a very simple guy. I could be in the poorest place and I'm gonna be happy. And I can be in Monaco and I can be super happy too, okay? So when you've never seen it, I'm very simple. But the crime, when somebody's attempting for your life, I got robbed. That's why I left. I was never planning to. They put a gun, they robbed me. I used to have a pickup truck. They put the gun in my head. They know, I know who you are. I gave them my phone, I gave them my wallet, and they didn't take my truck. But I gave him my wallet, I gave him my phone. But the guy talked to me. That's what freaked me out. The guy talked to me. You know, he said, hey, he talked to me. He says, I know who you are. I know where you live. Done. I'm done. The moment he said that to me, because when you're living in a territory, you know who they are. You know what I mean? They know who I was. So I says, okay, the same day I called my parents, hey, is there a space for me there? He says, and I left. Now, that was El Salvador. California is some things is homeless, is the economics over there, is the taxes, is people are gonna leave, and the good thing is that other states are giving you that option. Texas, you know how many people are coming to Texas right now?
Yeah,
and
right here.
People, yeah, there you go.
You too, Luis.
We'll be there soon enough.
Yeah. You know how many people are coming to Florida?
Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah. Why is that? So for me, people are gonna go to places. You know, California has great weather, way better than in here. Okay, in Texas, weather sucks over here in Houston, where I'm at. Okay, it's humid as you have no idea. And Houston is not a place where you say, I'm going to go on vacation. Nobody goes on vacation to Houston, okay? Where are you going for vacation? I'm going to Houston. Nobody does that. But people go on vacation to Los Angeles, California. People go to other places. But we decided to come over here for better future for our kids, for a family, economically. That's the reason why we left.
It's awesome, man. Some comments here in the comment section, and then we're gonna take a quick video break because I want you guys to check out this video we have here for our big event happening in Las Vegas, August 10th to the 13th. But we got Miriam Rivera in the chat box. We got Eric Sanderlin in the chat box. Priscilla. We got Iviana Paxton in the chat box. I appreciate you guys for joining us. If you're out there, you're watching this.
Remind everybody that we're giving the $50 gift card.
Yes, we are giving 50. You got questions for any of us, all three of us, any one of the three of us? You get a $50 gift card if we pick up your question. We answer it here live on episode 50 of the PHP Agency Podcast. So let's shift gears real quick. I'm fired up. And by the way, as we shift gears, the reason why we're talking about these issues right now is because we're not talking from a position of being helpless. There's nothing, unless we are a politician and we're changing policy and we're writing policy and creating bills and laws and improving. And even if we were, it's signed today, it'll still take a year or two or three for it to actually be enforced and make it law. And so in the meantime, we don't have a year or two or three. Our kids are growing, our bills need to be paid, our life is happening. And so while life is happening, we're playing offense. We're doing something about it. I mean, I left Chicago. And
you grew up there.
I grew up in Chicago. 38 years of my life was in Chicago, outside the 8 years I spent in California when I was in the military. But born and raised, I went to school there. Raised my three and four older kids there. Jojo, now 11. I love Chicago. But I just talked to Rashada this morning because we're doing our coffee and she's my host on it. And she goes, even in suburbs, it's not safe. In fact, the day I left, the Puerto Rican parade was going on. And the day I left Chicago to move to Texas, to Dallas, there was a Puerto Rican couple murdered right in the street, right there during the Puerto Rican parade on I think it was on Division or North Avenue. Yep, I've seen that happen before. This time it's televised. But safety is our number one concern. If you want safety for your family, that's why you decided to become an entrepreneur, to take control and create this financial and economic barrier and platform and stage. So therefore you can elevate above a lot of things that were going on right now in our country. So Jesse James from Miami is in the house. Eliza Miller, rep in Vegas, is in the house. Good to see you guys on the chat box. You got questions? We have a $50 Starbucks card for you guys to do your appointments at with us answering your questions. So I'm fired up about this convention we got going on here in Las Vegas, August 10th through the 13th. Let's check out this video here about the speakers we got coming to our event. We put on the craziest events. Luis, how do you feel about, being part of a business where we bring some speakers like this? I mean, what was your couple of first events like when you first came to PHP?
Oh man, the first event I went to, we had Jesse Itzler, right? And so he's selling his story, talking about where he came from. Then I go to the first convention, and my first convention, we had Kobe Bryant and President Bush. And I'm like, what kind of company is this? And you go in and the music, like you think you're walking into a concert. And I'm like, we do insurance? And then, now we have our guest speakers that we have this year, the performances, Nicky Jam last year. And I'm like, man, I don't know any other company that in the industry or out of the industry that puts on shows like this. So it's honestly exciting. I can't wait for this year. I'm a big fan of everybody that we have speaking, and the performer that we have. Grew up, I had the Band-Aid on my eye in middle school. Like I'm so jacked up for it.
Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at this video here of our guest speakers and event, August 10th to the 13th, the Story Builders PHP event. Well, you know what? Let me make sure I share the sound here to make sure I give a full audio experience. There you go. until he's done. Greatest show in turf. Aye. Woo!
Insane.
Crazy, man.
You know what I'm really excited about? I'm excited about all the guests, okay? You're going to be surprised. Kurt Warner.
Of all of them.
I'm not excited about all of them. Are you kidding me? Shaq, Nelly.
Of course.
But Kurt Warner is a very special story. We need to tell the story about Kurt Warner.
Yeah. Kurt
Warner is a very, very special story. He has a movie called American Underdog.
Yep.
And in the movie, Kurt Warner was not a player. He was not even drafted. He used to be a bagger at the grocery store. Kurt Warner used to bag food and pack shelves at the grocery store. That's what he used to do. And he goes there. He plays he got drafted by he go one day to go play with the Packers. And he was so afraid. He doubted himself so much that the coach says, "You're not playing." And then he goes, he get you're gonna do USA Today? Oh, Kurt Warner. And then he goes and he there you go, the movie. And then he goes and play at the he got picked. By the way, he was old. He goes and played for the Rams and he wins the Super Bowl. You know what's crazy in the movie? There is a part of the movie that he's working at the grocery store and he sees these the Wheaties, right? Called the Wheaties, right? The Wheaties, the cereal. So he says the Wheaties and he sees somebody over there. And then he goes and sees this magazine and he sees somebody there. He's packing stuff. He put in the shelves. And then all of a sudden, then he's winning the Super Bowl and he's the guy at the top in the cover of the magazine. This is insane. This story about this guy is insane. American Underdog. That's his wife, by the way. Amazing story. Amazing story.
Very faith-based. God is in the center of his life.
Yep.
His wife is also a United States Marine. So that was kind of cool.
That's right. Yes.
He's dating and then marrying a single mother with 2 kids.
With one of the kids has special needs, legally blind.
Yeah. What was it? How did he become legally blind? Was it something that the father did under the father's care?
Something like that.
Yeah. But that's why the kid was blind, because of the lack of care that the father. Something happened while he was under custody care. But yeah, I love that story, Kurt Warner. It's a conversation I definitely look forward to as well. I relate with the guy. Luis, what about you, Mr. LA? Are you looking forward to Shaq?
I'm looking forward to Shaq. I'm a big Muhammad Ali fan.
Really?
Yeah, I actually had the same picture that Rodolfo used to have in his background of Muhammad Ali standing over, I believe it was Frazier.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
I had that in my house. Same one, even before I joined PHP. So to have Layla Ali there, that's exciting. And Nelly was I think I was 13. I bought it. That was the first album I bought. So the whole lineup is sick. LA Rams, all of that.
Favorite Nelly song.
Oh man. Oh, he has Just a Dream. That song.
Oh, come on. Yeah, that's right, bro. Bro, I'm in the gym. I'm listening to that thing. I'm freaking crying in the gym listening to that song. Yeah. Man, I'm freaking crying. That song, get your ball out of Max set. What about you, Rodolfo? You listen to Nelly growing up? What's your favorite Nelly song?
Of course. Ia and Country Grammar and Ia. That's my songs, man. It's not I know that it's not the right thing to say, but that's what I like.
Okay, you want to know mine?
Yes.
What does it take to be number one?
Oh my gosh, I love that song.
2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers.
That's right. All right, we got.
I hope he plays all of those old songs. I hope so.
It's gonna be lit, bro. It's gonna be it's on fire. The first, feel like Nelly karaoke hour.
Damn, we're gonna go crazy. We love Nelly. I told you about Nelly. We used to play Nelly all the time. That's our generation.
Luis, do you know there's a hidden talent that Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas and Marcelo Vargas have?
Which one?
Is it karaoke?
Oh, they're master karaoke singers, bro. It's like they light it up, and they got the action and they got the dances and everything. You know, like everything going on.
I'm
Watch
a
out for
horrible
these El
singer.
Salvadorians.
Horrible singer, but I'm gonna pick the mic. We did a karaoke over here in our home, and I don't know how to sing. I'm a horrible singer, but I'm gonna pick the mic. That's what you know.
You gotta be careful too about Filipinos, man. Filipinos love the karaoke.
Oh my
man.
gosh,
They call it the magic stick. It's the magic stick. Where's the magic stick? I'm number 85. Magic stick number 85, lady in the red. All right, we got some questions. Cynthia Queiroz. Question. I guess this might be for you, Rodolfo. What would you like to be remembered for?
That's a question for me. What I like. Okay, one thing, direct, fast. I like to be remembered as a leader. I want people to say he was a leader. He was a leader.
Yeah.
I don't want to be remembered by the money I make. I don't want to be remembered by the cars that I own, the houses that I own, anything else. But I want to be remembered for people to say, you see that guy? That he was a leader. And he built leaders.
Yep.
He was not only a leader himself, he built other leaders. I don't know. I'm excited about that. That matters to me. A very, very deep question. Who asked that question?
That's Cynthia Queiroz. Cynthia Queiroz, you got yourself a $50 gift card. Luis, what about you, though?
Cynthia is actually my first MD.
What?
Wow.
That's
Cynthia.
awesome.
She became MD at 20 years old, 7 months from getting licensed. Came here as an immigrant, and now an MD owner, 21 years old. Excited that she was the first one to ask a question there.
I love it.
Cynthia, congratulations. Where's she immigrant from? Where did she come from?
She came from Mexico.
From Mexico. Cynthia, felicidades. Quiroz.
Make sure you email Tigran, Tigran, Tigran at phpagency.com and claim your $50 Starbucks gift card. But what about you, Luis? What do you want to be remembered for?
I have a vision, and it's going back to opening up those schools. Like I see in my vision one day me walking up the stairs to a school with my wife and my children's hands, and we're looking at a statue of me and my wife, knowing that we left something to help make the world a better place.
Okay, if I you got to promise you something.
Yes, sir.
If I make a big enough donation, appropriate for the size of your school and appropriate for the budget that you have, can I get like a wing named after the Sapaula wing or the Sapaula gymnasium, the Sapaula gym?
1,000%. 1,000%. That's the beauty of PHP. We're gonna have so many partners, and with everyone's, we're all aligned in the values and principles. Yeah. I can't wait till we open up schools and we're calling our partners. Looking forward to being able to call you and Vargas and George Pelayo, Gaitans, and be like, let's go open up a school that's going to build the next generation of leaders.
Yep. See it, bro. Hey, man, by the way, just wanted to let you know, Luis, there's a lot of benefits for becoming a board counsel. And, investing in each other's businesses is one of them.
That's the plan. Mama, we're there.
Elysia Miller. Okay. Rodolfo, I have an agent. I keep trying to challenge to get to big event. She keeps saying it's too expensive. How would you guys advise I proceed?
I tell you this, okay. Everything is expensive. There is no price. I mean, price is always an issue in the absence of value. Price is always an issue in the absence of value. If I know I'm going to go to a convention and I'm going to learn, what is the value? Forget about the speakers. It's not that. It's the speakers, it's the knowledge, it's the event, it's the relationships, all of that stuff is great. Okay? All of the learning about insurance, but here's what I explain to people. How much value do you put into you as a person? How much value is it for you to get inspired? What is the value? What is the value of that? What is the value of somebody receiving a message and getting inspired. That's why I'm so curious of people never missing a training or people going to the events. Because for me, what is the price of getting inspiration? Remember, it's not about becoming a millionaire. It's about the person that you become. I was reading something the other day about, can I read it to you? And I read it to you, it's
Please.
one phrase.
Please.
Says this, I read this yesterday to the guys. He says, the greatest value in life is not what you obtain. The greatest value in life is what you become along the way. Let me repeat it. The greatest value in life is not what you obtain. It's not what you get. It's not the car, it's not the house, it's not the entertainment, it's not the money, it's not what you obtain. The greatest value in life is what you become along the way. It's what you become. It's not about you going to convention. It's about the person that you become. It's not what I'm getting out of it. It's the person that I'm becoming. Am I becoming a better person by going to an event? Am I becoming a better person by hanging around with the successful people? It's not about, people say, Rodolfo is a millionaire. It's not that I don't care. I care about money, by the way. And I take the money and I take double, okay? But it's the person that we become by wanting to make the $1 million. It's not about becoming a marketing director. It's the person that you become by wanting to hit marketing director. So I sell that. So who has a question? Who has a question?
That was Alicia Miller.
Alicia, that's what I put value to. Yes, there is a lot of things out there, but for me, it's the intrinsic value of the person that we become. If I can sell that, if I can explain that to somebody, who are you gonna become? That's the value so much. It's cheaper, by the way. How much? I will pay thousands of dollars to become a better person. You know what I mean?
Here's what people pay to just to watch the NBA Finals. Let's check this out. Just to watch the NBA Finals. Ticket price is $873 just for a ticket. To watch a 4-hour game.
What do you become by watching that game?
You're entertained. Right?
There you go.
Game 4, $9.55. Okay.
Put a Bad Bunny concert. You should put a Bad Bunny concert.
Look at this one, bro. Courtside tickets, $22,000 for one ticket. 22 grand. You said Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny. And by the way, you watch a game and I'm the same person. I didn't change. But I can go to an event and I can change myself. How much are the tickets for Bad Bunny?
Let's check it out here. Bad Bunny events. Let's see here. View tickets. It's Houston, Texas. Tell everybody who bet $130 a ticket. That's some front stage. Those are nosebleeds. Next to the stage, depending on your organization, if your organizations fight for best seats in the MGM Grand. So this is front row right here. Let's see here. Right next to the stage, $400 or $500 per ticket just to be entertained.
By the way, look at the price per ticket. We can go more. I think so. But
yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
We're on $1,300 just to be right there. Just to be entertained. And then leave the same person. Right. And so, you know, the way I talk to people is like, listen, you know, people spend money. Like you just said, why do people spend X amount of dollars on red bottoms? By the way, you know what had me realize this about people when it came to money? No matter how bad things are, people are still going to buy what they want to buy because they think it's value to them. And I realized that during the pandemic, during Black Friday. Remember that first year of the pandemic, everybody was locked down and things were just starting to like kind of open up. Well, everybody was at the mall at Thanksgiving. Everybody was at the mall on Black Friday. Malls were jam-packed. I did a reaction video at the mall. We flew a drone around the mall just to see the whole mall parking lot being packed. So people are buying stuff what they want to buy. In LA, people are spending how much, Luis, on a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment?
$2,000-$3,000.
Because they want to. They can go live in I don't know, East Los Angeles. They can live in Watts. They can live in Compton. How much are apartments? Probably a little cheaper,
Yeah, a little bit. They're maybe 1,800.
Yeah, a couple $100. So people will always buy what they want, not what they need. So if people are not clear about their why, about the why they can become by attending the big event, by not investing in themselves, what you're basically saying is, I deserve to be the same old person into perpetuity. Because if you invest in yourself, what you're saying is, I'm playing offense. Why are people spending 25, 50 grand a year to go to college? Because they think there's value after a 4 or 5 year degree of having a college degree. Same thing here. Thank goodness it doesn't cost $25,000 to come to our event. And if they only knew, I mean, Luis, how much did it take for you to start your home inspection business?
Altogether, we were probably in over, $200,000-$300,000,
What?
Yeah. You have to get certifications. You have to get a sewer camera, which, is $20,000 itself. We had to get 3 of them, vehicles, ladders, tools, air samplers, the insurance. It's not cheap.
That's it. There it is. And how much money did it take for you to start this business?
$199 plus my license.
Another $300-400, less than $500 all in.
About less than $500.
And then big event.
Big event tickets. I think like $200 now.
Yep. Buy 10-pack.
Yeah, you buy a 10-pack, you get a room, right? You make your money back on the 10-pack. So there's nothing equates to starting a business here.
You can look at PHP Agency as the part-time opportunity that it is, and you might look at and get from it the part-time income that it provides, which is awesome, by the way. That's how I started the business. Or you can look at it as a multi-million-dollar opportunity, and that's why investing, the money that you need to spend for invest in terms of the ticket, plane ticket, room, board, it's worth it. And I think when we packed the MGM Grand Arena with not only these type of speakers, but the energy and the training, I mean, we're gonna give game, right? We're gonna give how to make $50,000 part-time, how to make $100,000 full-time income, how to make $250,000 full-time income, how to build a base shop, how to build a national business. How does a Rodolfo Vargas build a business in Puerto Rico, right? Rodolfo, what's some of the best lessons you learned from big event, annual convention? Not trainer, not mid-year, but from annual convention when you're coming up.
It's like people don't put value on what we were talking about. People don't put value on the person that we can become, the inspiration, the change. Guys, it's unvaluable. Remember, you're gonna make money based on the value that you bring to people. If you have value to yourself, you're gonna make more money. But can I give you another answer on this? About the people that are listening from the team that are planning to take a team. This is, for me, the big event is a great test of your leadership. Some people debate leadership. Some people say, I don't want to take people to the convention. I don't think convention is important, or I'm going by myself. I'm not taking a team with me. So what they're trying to say is, don't neglect the importance of becoming a leader. So if you're a leader, you take people to convention because people are going to follow you. You're going to take, so this, for me, big event is the part that you test your leadership skills. Are you a leader? Yes. How many people you're taking? John Maxwell says it like this. Are you a leader? Yes. How many people are following you? Nobody. You're not a leader. You know what I mean? So people, I'm a leader. Great. How many people are following you? Because leadership is 2 ways. It's setting the example and also helping somebody to do something that they wouldn't do by themselves.
Here's one of my.
Go ahead. No, so improving leadership. If you improve in leadership, you're going to take people with you. So test it like that. Go ahead.
One of my favorite books to read is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. Okay.
Phenomenal.
So I just pulled up my Kindle. And one of the highlighted things here I want to read, because this is something I read when I was barely making it. I was scraping. I was a single father, 3 kids. I remember, Rodolfo, how many roommates did you have in your first big event?
11. 10 to 11.
I was we rented out a suite. Sounds great. Not with 20 people in it. But we had a suite. And so by the way, that's what so we had a suite for the guys we had a suite for the girls, right? At the, what's the towers there? The MGM Towers right next to yeah. So we got 2 suites, sounded cool, but you had 40 people in 2 suites. Pretty interesting getting up in the morning. So it says here in the book, I quote from the book, T. Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Poor people claim they can't afford to get educated due to lack of time or money. On the other hand, rich people relate to Benjamin Franklin's quote, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. I'm sure you've heard this before. Knowledge is power, and power is the ability to act. Whenever I offer the Millionaire Mind, so this is the author selling his own course. Whenever I offer the Millionaire Mind Intensive program, I find it interesting that it's usually the people who are the most broke who say, I don't need the course, I don't have time, or I don't have the money. Meanwhile, the millionaires and multimillionaires all register and say, if I can just learn one new thing or make one improvement, it's worth it. By the way, if you don't have the time to do things you want to do or need to do, you're probably mostly a modern slave. And if you don't have the money to learn how to be successful, you probably need more now than anyone. I'm sorry, but saying I don't have the money just doesn't cut it. When will you have the money? What is going to be different a year or 2 or 5 years from now? Here's the easy answer if you don't do anything. Nothing is going to change in your life. And you'll be saying the exact same words again at that time. Damn. And thank goodness we made the investment into ourselves. And by the way, the unique thing between Rodolfo Vargas, Luis Perez, and yours truly here is that we all started from this position called training associate. So we understand and empathize how that feels. But we understood if we don't invest in ourselves, our life don't change. And I didn't want to risk my life not changing. And bro, our first convention with PHP, I already had some success in the industry before I came to PHP. It was February 2015. Even me coming in as an MD, I had to have roommates. Mm-hmm. Richard and Karen Love were my roommates. And the weird thing about the wall, there's a shower in the shower and in the bedroom. There's a hole in the wall from the bedroom where you can look into the shower. It was the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. But anyway, I hope that helps. Maybe you send him or her this podcast, and instead of you trying to answer for them, you have both Rodolfo and I, Luis, answering that for you. So who is it? Elisa Miller, I hope that helped. Please email Tigran at phpagency.com for your $50 gift card. So that being said, Luis Perez, before we wrap up, man, any last thoughts, any final thoughts, man, as we wrap up episode 50 of PHP Podcast?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you to Pat and Jen Tigran for allowing me to be on my leadership. George Pelayo, Cindy Cobos, Elvis, Fred, and Christy Terrace. I'm a product of them. I'm a product of the leadership that I'm around. All the leadership in PHP. You know, this year when I got started, you know, we were small MDs. We just hit SMD, and for anybody that's here, you know, PHP can make the smallest person a giant. You just gotta go out and put in the work and take advantage of the opportunity. Right. One of my goals this year was to make sure that my name's known in PHP, and to be invited on the podcast. That's a step to be able to do so. And now it does being able to push through and put in the work to come through as partners to great leadership like you guys, both of you yourselves. So thank you very much for having me. Excited to go into big event. Excited to wrap up EMD SVP here in the next 60 days. Walking the stage, being on stage with some great performers and the leaders of PHP. So thank you very much to both of you.
Appreciate you, Luis, for being on. Rodolfo, can you guide your final thoughts on the Paris and Monaco trip? Because we almost forgot to talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Wait, great job, Luis, today. I mean, we had a blast, man. I mean, we did the Eiffel Tower. We did a cruise in the middle of Paris. You remember that? Watching everything, every single, we did the tour like for hours. We did, we did that one. That's in Paris. I'm going to explain in Paris what we did.
Which one? Here. Where's the one? There it is. This is one.
That one. Yeah. We went to the Eiffel Tower. So That's the Eiffel Tower. That's the second floor of the Eiffel Tower. That is a view, huh?
It's your Gucci kicks.
The Gucci, yeah. That's the view. That is the elevator. They call it lift, right? The lift.
That's right.
to the top of the Eiffel Tower, and I got a little bit of vertigo, but that was beautiful. Okay.
You don't like rides. Yours says you don't like rides.
That is the top. That is the top. That is the top, and then we finish. We did the Eiffel Tower. We did the Louvre. We did by the way, that was Versailles. Oh, that was the Sacred Heart Church. We went over there praying. It's at the top of the mountain, and you're also able to do the locks. They call it the love locks, and we did that, and we put the date, and we lock it. That was beautiful too. That was.
So, do you remember where you put it? So, therefore, when you go back to Paris, you know where to find it.
When I come back years from now, I can go and recover it. Yeah, I remember where I put it. I remember.
Damn, it makes me want to just fly back there and put a lock on there, and 5 years and I'll go back and still here.
And we did also we have another one from that one, the first day in Paris, where you can see the cruise and you can see that was a room, by the way. From a room, we could see the Eiffel Tower. Look at that.
Beautiful.
And we did that. You open the window. And
it's weird. Like you can walk out on the balcony, right?
Yes. We had a great view. We're walking, and then we did that. That was a cruise. Remember the cruise with the guys? Yeah. The water. There was wine, champagne, food. The food was delicious. French food. The food is something else. The wine. We had a great time. By the way, everything included.
Like PHP spoiled us, man.
Yes, they did.
They spoiled us.
That was the first day, and we did Versailles. We went to Versailles. You can see that with theme. That is just pictures. And we did Notre Dame. We went to Notre Dame as well. That's Notre Dame. We had a blast. And what else? And then we did Monaco. And if you go to the top, that's Monaco. But that's Monaco. From Monaco to Saint-Tropez, when we went into the helicopter, and that's the pictures from the.
Look at that. Man.
And you did a yacht, right? You went on a yacht.
We did a yacht. That's so cool, man. You guys were intercom.
Yes.
This is internal communications. Nice. That's so cool. Well, it's, by the way, it's so cool to go there with money.
That's right. That's right.
I remember my first company trip, man. I was broke. And I spent it with you, Rodolfo.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Oh,
so we had a blast, man.
That's awesome.
We had a blast. But I'm telling you, it's probably the top. I'm on top trip with everything, with the new, everything. I'm gonna put Monaco and Paris right now at the top. Don't you? You're gonna say Dubai?
No, bro. I mean, I didn't really get to experience Dubai, even though it's a beautiful city.
Yeah. But so you put Paris and Monaco at the top?
Yeah, they're Monaco at the top, then Paris.
And then Paris.
Monaco,
me too.
Yeah. Number one, number two. Number one, Monaco, 2, Paris, 3, Dubai. You know what, bro? Then again, I like Greece. We went to Greece because that's where Jordan was made.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I love Greece.
Yeah, Greece was great. But then I'm telling you, I put Monaco first, Paris, then you go Dubai, you do everything else.
That's it. Well, there's everybody. Listen, we talked about schools, we talked about cost of living, we talked about gas, we talked about building your own schools, we talked about Spanish agents that don't even have a social security number, that have an ITIN, become a marketing director under Luis Perez's business. We got it all here, PHP Agency. And if you're out there and you're saying, you know what, I'm kind of ticked off about my financial situation. How do I play offense? How do I play defense with my savings and investments? But how do I play financial offense in terms of increasing my income? So therefore, an 8%. And by the way, it's going to be interesting as this month closes off what the inflation rate will be recorded for the month of June. If it's going to be 8% again, well, this will be the 4th month. If it ends up at being 8%, it'll be the 4th month that inflation is over 8%. It'll be the 3rd month. Previous to that, it's over 7%. And before that, it was over 5% for 4 months. dating back to last year. So if you're kind of ticked up about the whole situation, your quality of life, the savings that you have or you don't have, money's going more to living expenses and just the day-to-day, and less money is going to your savings and investment for you to take advantage of the opportunities that open up during the recession, please then reach out to Luis Perez out there in LA. Please reach out to my partner out there in Houston, Rodolfo, Texas. And if you're out here in Dallas, reach out to me. If you're in Chicago, we got people in Puerto Rico. We got people on the East Coast, West Coast. We have people to help you and serve you in your local area if you don't have anybody to reach out to incorporate some of the things that we talk about. So that being said, if you were to Google, last thought, if you were to Google the industry most likely to make you a millionaire, at the top will be financial services. And more specifically, the life insurance industry, because during the recession, during peelback, our industry offers something that many other financial products and services cannot provide, which is safety and guarantees of principal and previous year's gains within life insurance and with inside index annuities. So that being said, if you haven't done so already, please consider hitting like this podcast, episode 50. Rodolfo, we got 2 more. It'll be 1 year we've been doing this podcast.
We need to do something special.
Something special, but we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it before convention. And please, in the comment section, please drop your biggest thoughts, takeaways from this podcast. I appreciate you for your live chat on the Q&A. And every Wednesday here, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are launching this podcast. And last but not least, PHP family, major bombshell announcement. Rodolfo, how big is this announcement that Patrick has later on this week?
Insane. But nothing compares to it. It's the biggest announcement. We never announced anything like it. We never announced anything like it. Huh?
They'll be on the ground. You'll be looking on the ground. You'll be floored. You'll be on your back. You'll be looking at your phone like this. What the happened? What the happened? Well, it's happening because we have a CEO founder that is a visionary that happens to kind of follow through what he says. And when you find something like that in your life, business, you do not want to depart from them, because that type of person is a healthy person in your life. So that being said, guys, appreciate you for tuning in. On behalf of Luis Perez, Rodolfo Vargas, I'm your money smart guy. And until we meet again, continue to help people, continue to love people, and continue to change your lives today. See you next week, everybody. Let's go close out PHP.